And we are live.
We're live.
Good
And
day.
how are you all?
Good.
I'm good. I'm looking at myself. You can see me, even though this is a podcast and most of you guys are listening. Yeah, I've got my Zoom working on my phone now, so people can actually see me. So then I can make faces at Suzanne and Kim like that.
Very nice. And that's for the pleasure of all of our 6 YouTube subscribers.
That's right.
We'll be able to see that. Yeah. They're small but mighty. Yes, they are. So what have you people been up to? Do we still say guys? I've been trying not to say you guys anymore. But God, that one
we're not really allowed.
That's a hard one. That one is like hardwired into me. And I even argued for it at one point. My daughter said, you really shouldn't call everybody guys, And I go, well, it doesn't mean, well, it does. And yeah, but we can't, no, you shouldn't. And I've been trying to wean myself off of saying, hey, you guys, or good morning, guys, or whatever. It's hard. I'm struggling with that one more than I'm struggling with some of the other more bigger ones.
Yeah, because that's so innocuous. It's just like, I'm sorry, just 1 second. Abby, can you shut up? All right, thank you.
You didn't tell her to shut up. You just told her to shut up politely.
That's parenting corner.
Okay. So, yeah, what have you guys been? See, there you go. What have you people been up to? I can say women. I know you identify as women. What have you women been up to?
I think everyone's housebound again, aren't we? Like everything's with the numbers having shot up. I don't know about you guys, but I've been that much more conscious to. I need to be at home anyway because I can't be ripping around everywhere. But very much more conscious about any outings and things like that. Because what are our numbers at today?
Anyway.
What's that?
Where were you going anyway?
I don't know. I always have shit to do, and it's funny how, I don't know, maybe I used to find shit to do, or there just always seemed like shit to do that needed to be done, and now it's just not.
I've simply stopped going like spontaneous impromptu trips to like Chapters or Michael's or places like that, because I would do that. I'll just like get some, oh, you know what? I think I want to knit something, and I'll go off to Michael's to get yarn and like that kind of stuff. I'm not doing anymore. Now it's back to like just the groceries, the drugstore, whatever I need, and then go home. I've got a socially distanced visit with a friend planned for Friday, and I'm thinking we're still going to do that. If the weather's not too horrible, we're probably going to meet on her porch and literally have dinner on her porch. Yeah, I'm still going to do that with one person.
I like that.
I'm not going to, we've decided not to delete that. We're still going to do that. And my sister, my cousins and I were in the middle of planning our Zoom Thanksgiving dinner. We're going to do a food exchange. We're going to have a Cahoots game. And of course, because it's my family, a very long prayer. And then say goodbye and go eat their own dinners.
And who's going to lead your very long prayer?
Not this heathen, nah. One of the old people usually do it, my uncle or something. Yeah.
We're going to be on
15 minute grace.
Damn.
If you weren't hungry before, you'll be hungry after Jesus blesses the food. So that's what's going on over here. I know you've been pretty much, you weren't going to impromptu visits to Michael's, Kim,
Nope.
ever. So
No.
Nothing's really changed. You'll just keep on keeping on.
Yep. No, I've got too many elderlies to look after to risk any COVID. So I go out when I have to, and I don't when I don't.
Yeah. I hear ya. But what have you guys been watching? You guys mentioned a few things.
I've been watching The Boys on Prime, which is
The Boys?
Boys. It's about superheroes. It's filmed in Toronto. It's cheesy and it's violent. And and there goes Suzanne.
Not 3-year-old shows. Oh my god.
Mind numbing. But you know what I did watch? That Enola Holmes.
Mhm.
I really
Saw
liked
that.
that.
Was it good?
It was. It was a nice just sit down and enjoy it and watch her adventures. And I do wish, because it's a book series, I wish it was a TV series instead of just a movie.
Is she like supposed to be like the great grand niece or great granddaughter of Sherlock Holmes or something?
No, it's his sister.
She's his sister. That's too close.
Well, he's in it. Sherlock is in it.
Oh, so it's like she's like his sister, so she's a contemporary of his. I was absolutely thinking that it was like in the future, you know?
No,
And she's
it's
great grand niece or something.
no.
Way back.
Mm.
And the actor too.
Sorry?
Actors lineup was really good too.
Oh.
That one.
I'm thinking this weekend I might pick up where I left off with Anne with an E. I love that show so much. And then there was I watched all of it, and then there was a break waiting for the next season to come out, and now it's out. It's been out for a while, and I need to catch up with that. So I think that's going to be my weekend viewing. Anne with an E, very Canadian TV show for our American listeners. Go watch it. I love Anne of Green Gables, and this is a slightly darker twist to the story of Anne Shirley.
I have not started watching that. I am so gung ho on the original Anne of Green Gables. It's one of those things where I'm worried that I'm going to watch it and not like it because I love Anne of Green Gables so much.
That's me. I'm the biggest Anne of Green Gables fan ever, and I didn't know that it actually had, so this was my saving grace. I didn't know that it had a little bit of a dark twist. I thought it was just simply the same story, just redone. And so I was at first like a little disturbed. Oh, that didn't happen. Oh, what's happening? But it's so well done that you'll get sucked in. It's really well done.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so try it.
She's unboxing, people. She's unboxing.
Damn, I don't know what I ordered.
Oh, it's so good. I have something too. We can both, you unbox, let me get my package.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Is this ASMR enough for you? Are you hearing the?
Ziggy's all excited. You get down. And I know it's not a book.
Oh.
Like usually books come in like these packages, but this is not a book.
Oh, it's a bunch of baby
There
stuff.
Stuff?
It's from the Kappa conference. So I've got nursing tea. I've got Milky's Milk Saver. I guess you put it in your bra and catch your leaks.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember signing up for this, but you know,
God, man.
I signed up for fucking everything. So
saving things as if like there's a shortage of breast milk.
Drop.
Drop.
ISO Fresh Balancing Gel to stop feminine odor.
Oh my.
Personal moisturizer and lubricant for temporary dryness.
Wow.
Oh, not that I knew that.
Your woohoo is going to be.
I'd have to clear the cobwebs away first. What is this one? Perinatal massage and postpartum comfort gel. And then some magnets on storing breast milk.
sent you all of these things? One person?
Milky's.
Oh, Milky's.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's the majority of this stuff is from Milky's. So yeah, there you go. Should hit them up for sponsorship.
There you go. The
Hey,
exact.
want to
We've
sponsor
already
us?
one ad right here.
Yep.
Okay,
There
let me
you
see
go.
what I got. I'm gonna cut this in. I know what it is because I got like 24-hour Prime. These are resistance bands.
Oh, that's right.
There's three of them in a pack because I'm having some knee problems.
Oh, right.
Having some knee problems, Gertie.
Are we gonna
Strengthen the muscles around my knee. One of the things that I got to do is, they're not, I guess you got to tie them together. And then I've got a couple of websites saved with exercises to do with these. And so pretty soon I'm going to have the strongest knee on the block after I do all of this. So that's what these are. 3 resistance bands in lovely primary colors. And so there you go. Ask me next week how I'm doing with my resistance bands.
do it?
So excited, aren't you? Here, you can have the bubble wrap. Good. Yeah. So let's do a land acknowledgement.
Good idea. Whose turn is it?
I don't know. I don't know, but I have it right here.
Okay.
Did it last week, I think.
Yeah, Steph did it last week. Okay. The land I'm standing on today,
Trombone.
the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. I also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. Toronto is built on sacred land that is part of an agreement between Indigenous peoples and then extended to allied nations to peacefully and respectfully care for it. By personally making a land acknowledgement, we are taking part in an act of reconciliation, honoring the land and Indigenous heritage, which date back over 10,000 years. So maybe this is a good time to mention yesterday, Orange Shirt Day. Yesterday was Orange Shirt Day, where people who have been affected by the presence of residential schools in Canada were honored. People, children from the past and the present and the future, because the last residential schools still were happening up until 1996. Can you even fucking believe that? I can barely believe that. Residential schools was nothing short of genocide and a disgusting, abysmal stain on the history of this country. And the effects of that are going to be felt for generations to come, even though we have a lot of people right now who are working towards helping with that. But the efforts of the people who have the money and the power just isn't there. So it's an uphill battle. So that's what Orange Shirt Day was honoring yesterday.
Yeah, we really need to get to that place where, I mean, I don't think, often people use the analogy, what if that was your child? It doesn't have to be your child for you to know that it's not okay.
Yeah.
For that all of this was not okay. You don't have to look at it through the eyes of a child, Drives me absolutely bonkers. We still have very far to go.
Yes.
We need to stop looking at these things as far as having sympathy. We need to start looking at these things as far as having empathy and actually, putting ourselves in those places, our own selves, and making those changes and those acknowledgments that this is fucked up And again, up until 1996, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had a baby. I had a child in 1996.
I spent most of my night drunk in 1996.
That was your life.
It was my 20s. Welcome to your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh married and mostly drunk.
Wow.
And it's not like
Now I'm freshly separated and I don't drink anymore. Oh, have times changed.
Polar opposite.
Having said that, this is a wine night. I don't care.
Ooh, tonight is a wine night for Kim.
Yes, I finally found a liquor store that sells the wine that I want to drink. So I took all their stock and hopefully they'll restock it.
Yesterday was Orange Shirt Day, and speaking of drinking, last night, man, I wanted to numb out my brain and put a bottle away after reading also about I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, Joyce Equan, who died begging for help in the Joliet Hospital yesterday, and that she recorded that. She recorded her last moments because she was being absolutely verbally abused by the staff at the time. So I think even when we look at Orange Shirt Day, we often think of it in the past, but the problems here are not in the past.
True.
They're dying today.
Happening now.
So we have lots of work to do, and that includes making sure that the Quebec government specifically said that this is not a sign of systemic racism.
Mm-hmm.
Their premier said that this is not an evidence of systemic racism, when absolutely it is. You can only say those things amongst your coworkers at work if it's acceptable to the culture there. And it becomes acceptable to the culture there if it is allowed, if it is not put in line, if it is not led by our government.
Yes. I mean, they even know the meaning of the word systemic racism, the term systemic racism. How many Indigenous women have to die? How many Indigenous people have to suffer these kind of indignities before the notion that this is systemic racism sinks into their head? This is not a one-off.
No.
It's
And
not.
If there's one that was caught on video, you can bet your sweet ass there's like at least 100 more that nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
And she died asking for kindness, asking for someone to acknowledge the fact that she thought she was dying. Mm-hmm. And all that was hurled at her were slurs, and by staff. These are people who are healthcare providers who are meant to do no harm.
Yeah.
And you know what? I appreciate the fact that, like, we talk about these things here on this podcast because we're moved to, because we need to. And I really respect our
There's your kid.
There's your kid. Hold on one sec. Talk amongst yourselves for 1 minute. Let me mute myself.
Okay, so yada da 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 yada da 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 da.
Ooh,
She was the one that was talking. So this will all make sense if you go to our YouTube channel, The Pragmatic Doulas. You can see us going, what?
All right, there. Never mind.
All right.
Yeah.
You were saying.
What was I saying? Oh yeah.
Talking.
Our favorite podcast, My Favorite Murder, Karen and Georgia, are fabulous, and they really speak about social justice issues quite a bit. The one thing though that I noticed about American people, Indigenous issues just are not on their radar.
No, and I mean, we had Jody last week when we said we were going to do a land acknowledgement, ask what that was.
Yes.
And I thought, and really, like, almost 50% of our listeners are American.
Yeah. But Indigenous issues are simply not on their radar. So I encourage our American listeners to really sit down and think about that. Like we are, the Indigenous doulas are, and Indigenous midwives are at the forefront of the birth worker situation here in Canada, and we always are considering that. And I don't never hear anything about that in the States. So think about it.
When we hear about anything in regards to Indigenous rights and stuff, it's usually because they've created a blockade, or they're trying to protect their water, or it's always in relation to them having to advocate for themselves physically. You never hear about it before those things happen.
Yeah, like what's happening with the Micmac fisheries in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
Non-Indigenous fishermen are trying to block and stop the Micmac from from fishing in their waters and their territories, and it's a whole thing. And we hear about that. So I know for a fact that there are big Indigenous activists in the States, but they're not at the forefront of anything that I look at in the States. I know that I listen to like Code Switch. That's a really good podcast that speaks about race culture and sex. And I listen to another podcast called Yo, Is This Racist? It's literally called Yo, Is This Racist? And they often talk about Indigenous issues there too. But it sort of everyday ordinary life, I don't hear much about it from the States. So do better, neighbors.
Most of the US news and things that I pick up mostly just have to do with, if they're not talking about Trump and Biden, they're talking about celebrities. And really, I don't hear much between those two. That's about it.
You said Trump and Biden?
Yeah. Biden, Biden. I don't,
Biden.
I just like him because he told him to shut up on air. I mean,
yeah, I didn't even go near them.
no, me neither. I just saw the clip afterwards. But
Yeah.
no one was surprised.
Yeah. So, I wanted to, as now it's October 1st.
Yep. Happy autumn.
Halloween month. It's spooky Halloween month. I have a podcast recommendation that I stole from Karen Kilgara from My Favorite Murder. She recommended this podcast, and I've been listening to it since then. And I keep hearing a little bit of feedback. Who is that? What's happening?
It's Stephanie.
I'm alone.
It's not me.
Okay, how about if I'm good when I'm not talking, I'm gonna mute myself and see if that helps. Anyways, it's called Spooked, and it is really good. It's it's called Spooked. It's really good. Listen to episodes of Spooked. Oh, sorry, no, I didn't mean to turn it on. I was like, who's talking? I wanted to get the cover art, but it turned on. Anyways, it is regular ordinary people who tell stories of crazy, wild, scary, ghostly things that have happened to them. And if you are a little bit of a scaredy cat like I am, don't listen to this when you're at home alone. Like I've never listened to this when I'm home alone. I wouldn't even dare. Yes. The host is really cool. He's I think his name is Glenn Washington or something. The music is awesome. Just the way that it's set up is great. The stories are good. They're real, actual people who tell stories about things that have happened to them. And it's awesome. So for this month of October, give it a try. Spooked. Try it. You will like it.
I have been watching BuzzFeed Unsolved and BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural on YouTube. They're stupidly hilarious, but like stupid funny. And I've been enjoying that spooky stuff. But I don't know if you guys know this about me. I don't really talk about this. I watch ghost shows like it's religion. Like I constantly watch ghost shows. If there's a new ghost show, I'm like right in there. I watch them all.
What do you mean ghost shows? Like
There-
what, for example?
Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Brothers is hilarious because it's 3 black guys. Love those guys. They are so funny. I follow them on Instagram too. Um, what else? Kindred Spirits, which is ironic because my first doula company was Kindred Spirits. What else do I watch? I think that's it at the moment. They're usually on like Travel Channel or Discovery Tour. But I watch the BuzzFeed Unsolved on YouTube.
Huh.
I am big.
Did you watch that show? It was a Canadian show. I believe it was 2 British women, but it was filmed mostly here in Canada, and they went around kind of releasing spirits from a house and stuff like that.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar. I was just I can almost see them in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't know what it's called.
Me neither, but I remember it being they were pretty funny. They were pretty funny.
And the funny, I was talking to my kids because they got me into BuzzFeed Unsolved, and I watch ghost shows on the premise that I know some of like it's all like editing and like I get it's not real, most of it. But when I watch BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural and they're actually going into these, haunted houses, quote unquote, like they're just going in, like they're not, when they find shit, that's fucking ridiculously scary because this is not what they do. Like they are not ghost hunters per se. And you're like, you hear them go, what the fuck? Like, oh my God. So I like it because all the ghost shows I watch I'm kind of jaded to it right now, but with them, it's like, damn, did you hear that? What was that? Did you see that? Because they're not faking it, because they're literally going in like 2 guys going, okay, ghosts, come and get us. It's ridiculous. So yeah, they do BuzzFeed Unsolved mysteries as well, where like Karen and Georgia, they talk about mysteries and things like that. The only unsatisfying part is that they're all unsolved. So there's no resolution. So yeah, they've got 6 seasons, I think, on YouTube. Not very many. I'm almost done, actually. I don't know what I'll watch after.
Who knows? But definitely listen to Spooked and see if that gives you the creeps. It's really well done. Very well done.
I've stopped listening to podcasts. I know that's terrible because I am a podcaster, but I don't drive anymore. So I don't have anywhere to listen to them. I know you guys listen to them at home, but I'm always doing stuff where my kids are around or things like that. So I don't know.
A good bedtime story. Listen to one before you go to bed.
I might not sleep.
You might not sleep. Well, they're not that scary that they're going to interfere with your sleep, but they're just scary enough to give you the chills and make you like, I have to put the covers over my head when I listen. I cannot listen to them with my arms out of the covers. No! I got to put my arms out of the covers. Make sure my feet are tucked in. That's how much of a wimp I am about scary stories. But I'm irresistibly drawn to them. And I think the thing is too, just like true crime, I wouldn't say that I'm a true crime fan. And I don't watch those ghost hunter kind of shows because
I don't know anybody who does. It's just me.
Yeah, they don't really interest me. What I love about this is the story. It's because they're stories. I love a good story.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's partly, one of the big things that I like about ghost shows is because they always talk about sort of the history of the place, and it's the history that
Yeah.
I really enjoy getting to know, like who are these people and what were they about when they were alive, and why is this building the way it is, and when was it built, and what did it serve, and all of this stuff. So
Yes.
I like that, the history side of thing. I'm a stupidly large history buff.
Mhm.
Again, maybe you didn't know that about me either.
I knew that.
Yeah.
That if you had it all to do over again, you'd, without like marriage and kids and all that, you'd be an archaeologist.
Yeah, or I would really like to go back if I could and be a genealogist.
That's history too.
Yeah.
That's history too. What would you do, Steph, if you had it all to do over again and there's no marriage, no kids? It's just you and your heart's desire.
I think I actually would have taken after Xander and just worked my way across the world. Just save up enough money, like before kids, save up enough money, go enjoying the world and discovering it and stuff before I had kids.
No kids, no kids at all. If you had a life,
You're not having kids. You're all on your own.
You're on your own, just you and your work.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I just would have wanted to explore first and then see what piqued my interest. Like, what shit I don't know? What don't I know that can be, your income, your work? So I'd want to tour first and then then wing it. Fucking wing it.
Kind of like I do now.
Nobody would be a doula. Nobody would be a.
No.
I'd just be like a better doula. I would take more clients and have a bigger doula business. That's what I would do if I had it all to do over again.
Nope. Not even close.
I wouldn't either.
Are you a giant Starbucks cup?
I used to have iced tea in it about 2 weeks ago. So now I like it because it's like a cup with a straw, not like a water bottle. So I like it. Oh, there you go. But yours is official reusable. This is being reused, but it's not one of the reusable cups. Just reusing it, repurposing it. Yeah. Excellent. So what are we talking about today?
Health corner. Health priority.
Update. Health HP up.
The HP update.
Yeah. You haven't heard about that for a while, have you, people? I'm sure that everybody's sitting on the edge of their seat wondering how healthy we are or how not healthy we are.
They stopped listening the minute I mentioned ghost stories, so.
No, I bet there's still, I speak to people sometimes and they mention things about the podcast. And I'm like, you listen to that? You listen to that whole thing? Wow, I'm impressed. Those are our 6 YouTube subscribers. Those are like our diehard fans.
They want to see our.
If we ever do like a live podcast recording session, we will only need 6 chairs in the auditorium. It'll be perfect social distancing. So we should still plan it. We can spread everybody out 10 feet away and we're good.
You haven't mentioned my new backdrop.
Your new backdrop, I guess because I'm used to it, but that's true. It's lovely. It looks very, it looks like you live in a cottage.
Like I give a shit.
It looks like you read and you have a family. Yeti. What is that, a hat? Why does it say Yeti?
That's what our mic is, a Yeti.
I knew it sounded familiar. So what is it? That's just the box up there?
Just a box, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's very nice. That's a nice backdrop. It looks very homey, cozy.
It's warm.
It's warm.
Freezing my ass off, but it's warm.
I asked the kids today, who votes for me to turn the heat on? Everybody's hands shot up. I said, fuck all of you.
I didn't give them a vote. It's not happening.
I was just messing with them. I'm not turning shit on.
And that's
water. I got socks on. I'm not turning anything on. Put on a blanket.
Sweater. If you're cold, put on a sweater.
I got Roger's sweater.
Very nice. I mean, it is 20 degrees in the house. It's 20.
That's a
And
bad
I'm like,
temperature.
20 degrees is perfectly fine. When we get down to 16, come and see me. I might even be cold by that time.
When you're too cold to get out of bed, maybe we'll talk.
When I'm too cold to get out of bed, I don't give a what they want to do. When I'm too cold to get out of bed, I will turn on the furnace.
Fair.
Last week or earlier this week, I had to turn on the AC.
Yeah, because it got hot again.
Jesus. Yep. So Mother Nature's not messing with me like that. That heat stays off until I know for sure that the cold weather is here to stay.
Well, we're trying to figure out, it's so cold now. This time last year, it was not this cold, whether or not to close the pool. But I'm holding out for a wave because we had one last October. We had like 3 days where it was really hot all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I am praying, I am holding that energy that it's going to come, and I will have an opportunity to go back in the pool, although my doctor told me not to. But I would like to.
Right, you maybe shouldn't. Well, I'm looking at these temperatures for the next few days. They don't look pool worthy. 13, 12, 13, 14. Tuesday might be 18. There you go.
Okay, I'm
So-
holding out 25, 26.
Nah. I only go 5 days ahead because I heard a meteorologist say that don't trust forecast more than 5 days ahead. I can't tell. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. 18 will be highest in the next 5 days on Tuesday. So if you can do 18, warm up the pool. Warm it up.
It's not the warming up of the pool, it's the getting out of the pool.
Then let me tell you something. Where were you born? Weren't you born in this country? When my cousin and I went to the Nordique Spa last January 2019. And we went to January. It was minus 17 in Quebec. And it was the most delicious thing ever to go in those hot tubs and pools where the water was so nice and warm. And then you just have your robes hanging there and you just jump into your robe and go inside. That's it. That's what you do. So heat that pool up and get in there. No, not you because of your issue. You don't, but other people can do it. So
Maybe you can do it, Suze. Maybe you can do it.
maybe. How hot is the pool? That's the question. How hot can you make that pool? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Warm.
So let's do HP Corner.
All right, why don't we start with you, Miss Suzanne, since this was your baby.
What is there? What do you want to know? Tell me. Don't ask me how much I weigh because I will lie through my teeth. Don't ask me that. It's not,
What are you doing for your skin every day?
What?
What are you doing for your skin? Oops, I got a call. What are you doing for your skincare every day?
Oh. Well, I'm still doing the same thing I did, I think, the last time we talked about skincare. I still use The Ordinary. I wash with a very moisturized cleanser because as it starts to get colder, my skin gets drier and drier until I look like a dried up old apple doll.
That's terrifying.
And so I'm just trying to keep up with the hydration, hence water, lots of water, and moisturizing cleanser. Use 100% squalene oil on my face, and then if I feel like I need it, I'll put a moisturizer on top. 3
All
times.
right.
So I use alpha lipoic acid. This is all stuff from The Ordinary, by the way, really cheap, nothing fancy, no fragrances, fancy jars, all one ingredient stuff, and it works. So.
And how do you determine which items are right for you?
I studied their website like I was studying for like a master's degree. I really did, and looked up online what my issues were for my skin, and then what things for it, and then that's how I did. That's how I. Yeah, and also trial and error. I've tried things that didn't work, so I didn't buy them. But because they're so cheap, the products are so cheap. It's no big deal if I spent $7 on something that I don't feel really works. So, yeah.
And do you do that every day? Is it like really part of your routine?
This is an interview. This is like an interview for Gloop.
What the hell is Gloop?
Goop. You know, that Gwyneth Paltrow pseudo-science, mostly woo-woo website that she has.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
So I do a morning routine and an evening routine. Yeah, I do morning and evening, but in the morning I don't cleanse, I don't wash I just use water and rinse my face off, because what the hell am I doing lying in bed? So I'm not gonna waste even though it's not expensive, I'm not gonna waste my cleanser to cleanse my face again. So I really only do that once a day. Yeah. And of course, so this will go against all conventional wisdom. I'm not shy about sunshine. I actually believe humans need sunlight in order to be healthy, in physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I know everybody's skin is different in terms of the amount of sun tolerance that they have, and you need to figure out your level of tolerance. Obviously, like Kim will have far different sun tolerance than me, but I can, and this doesn't sound like a long time to me, but it will be a long time for you. I can stay out in the sun for 20 minutes to half an hour. That's my tolerance time. And then I should cover up or put sunscreen on. So I do have moisturizer that has sunscreen in it. And so if I am going out for like a long walk, I'll put sunscreen on. But you know, if I put the sunscreen on right away, it'll take about a half an hour before it starts to work. So I'll get my half an hour and then I have coverage. So I'm not afraid of the sun. I'm not afraid. I really stock up on that vitamin D in the summer. My skin loves the sun, and I know some people don't, but my skin does love the sun very, very much. See, look. Oh, you can't see that. And this is faded drastically because over the last 2 weeks or so, I haven't been getting as much sun. But I think that's an essential ingredient in my skincare. Sunshine. Yeah. That's me. That's skincare. Thank you for not asking about my fat ass.
H.
Thank you for not asking. I got no products. You know what products I use for that? Chocolate, bread. Those are the care products for my fat ass.
Head on over to our YouTube channel right now and you can see a picture of that fat ass as Suzanne stood up and slapped it in the camera.
P-H-A-T ass.
You know, I come from a family where, or at least I don't want to say a family, my mother, who I did literally come from my mother. But sorry, 1 second. I have dogs trying to be jerks. Get going out of here. And I was, what was it? In this, I guess the beginning of the summer or something, I was bending down, and y'all know I have adenomyosis. Like I'm looking like I'm 6 months pregnant. Like everything has blown up on me, especially over the past year. It just keeps growing. Anyhow, I was bending over and my mom made a comment about how my ass got that fat. And it's just so casual with her, you know? And because she hates when I mention anything that she would consider unladylike, but telling me I have a fat ass is apparently ladylike. But so I have to lie with something unladylike that makes her chase me around the house and slap me, which is I turned around like, oh, Roger's been banging himself off it so much it must have swelled up. And, and of course she screams at me and gets up to start chasing me with her hand up in the air.
I could see my mom and my aunt killing themselves laughing if I had said that. I wish that my life actually had the reality where I could say that because they would love that. Yeah, no such luck. Well,
And Roger's in the corner covering his face. Like,
oh dear. Well, so let's go to Kim next. No, let's not go to Kim next.
we have Kim vigorously shaking her head side to side.
Yeah,
Fast.
no, I'm
Who doesn't
good.
want to talk about her fat ass?
No, I'm good.
How about your skincare?
It looks good today. Your skin looks very, like your lighting looks great.
I'm trying to,
Easy.
sorry. I wash it maybe every 2-3 days. I leave makeup on before I go to bed.
You say fuck it a lot?
Not leaving the house. Who am I? Genes. This is genes. This is
Genetics.
genetics. I don't get acne, nothing. In fact, my hair looks good today because I usually wash it on the Friday, so you usually see it really sketchy. But I actually went a week and a half this time without washing my hair, so I washed it yesterday.
That's why it looks good. That's a secret too. Not washing my hair as much has improved it. Oh my God, I can't even tell you. Yeah. And I know, Steph, you gave it a shot.
I did. I'm still doing like every third day now.
So you've stretched it a bit.
Stretched it by a day, and it pretty much the whole summer since you guys told me about that. I've been doing it the whole summer, and my hair does look a lot better. It's just kind of letting the idea of washing my hair go was hard.
Well, we didn't say like never wash your hair. We're just saying not as often. Also, don't use shampoo that has sulfates in it. That's also another thing that has improved my hair a lot. Using like sulfate and paraben-free shampoo. And it's not so, used to be that you would have to go to like specialty places, but now a lot of the shampoos are taking it out. So you could go to Shoppers and find shampoo easily that doesn't have parabens and sulfates in it.
Winners.
Yeah, and because you're not washing as often, that's okay. And I use less shampoo than I used to use too. I don't use a lot. Yeah. So there you go. More tips. I hope y'all are writing this down.
Stop washing your
Again,
hair.
they tuned out. They're like, you guys aren't talking about birth? Fuck this.
Birth.
Well, I think we're going to talk about my uterus, though, aren't we?
Yes. There you go. Where's your connection?
Go for it.
Well, can I tell you, though, my biggest regret, and I cannot believe that I didn't do this. I didn't ask to keep my placenta, my uterus. I should have asked to keep my uterus.
First of all, do the people know that you had a hysterectomy? We're talking we're assuming knowledge that they might not have.
I do not.
Why?
Uterus because I had a hysterectomy. Now, I think a lot of people, maybe not on this podcast, but most of the people I know who I grew up with and who've known me over the years know that I have endometriosis. But what I think a lot of people do not know is that I have adenomyosis, which is something completely different. So endo is where the lining grows in your body cavity. So it grows out and kind of connects to all of your internal organs when it really should keep its ass inside your uterus, but it doesn't. And so that's very painful. But adenomyosis is where instead of it leaving your uterus, it actually puts itself between all the muscular layers of your uterus. And so your uterus becomes very heavy and bulky. And over time, what happened to mine, we didn't realize it had quite got this big, but it then requires more blood flow. It requires more to keep it going. It has more demands on it, and it kind of grew out of control. And so it grew much to this, what we thought that it was about an inch below my belly button, but which is enough reason to take it out at that point because it just kept growing. But what ended up happening is once they got in there, a couple months after my last ultrasound, they found that they actually ran into it and it was about inch above my belly button. So they had to go in through the top and have it taken out. The reason that it has to come out, I mean, obviously it's the growth, it's exhaustion, it's anemia, all of the things that come with it. But lots of blood flooding. I think it actually happened at your house once, Kim, where you're
More
just
than once.
more than once, where you're literally just standing there, nowhere near your cycle or anything like that, and then all of a sudden, your pants are filled with blood. And being a doula, doing what we do, being out at places made it very challenging to do my job. And also just because of the sheer size of my uterus, it caused a lot of pain, disruption of my other systems that are around it. Yeah, and they still do not know what causes it. So
Yeah.
the answer after trying all the other things, being in the birth world is really weird to say, I need to take out my uterus. It's malfunctioning. When we come from such a place of, I find, so naturally focused and stuff. I had a lot of people offer well-intentioned, but advice I didn't ask for, and which for me assumes that I haven't done every fucking thing, seen every goddamn doctor, had every excision.
Please share with us some of the advice you got. Please, I beg of you.
Well, of course, everybody told me to see a naturopathic doctor. I do. I've always seen a naturopathic doctor. Even when I didn't want to see one as a child, I saw a traditional Chinese medicine doctor. Like, I have run the gamut. See this doctor, take this supplement. I had people tell me I needed therapy because my uterus was holding pain, and it was growing because I was holding pain. I had people tell me I need to pray more.
Was there an essential oil for that too? Maybe you needed an essential oil.
Just rub, massage.
All over.
Massage. And I'm a married person and have a lifetime partner who I really like, and so obviously it would impact our sex life, impact our planning for our sex life, our marriage, even just planning to go on a fucking date, like trying to leave the house together and stuff like that. And knowing where the closest bathroom was at all times. Whenever I go somewhere, I would know where the bathroom is. So just in case. But there's a lot of life interruptions, and so I also had people tell me that I'd be in less pain if I switched to a menstrual cup, which actually I did try numerous times, but just because of all the tissue up there, it hurt. It hurt to put it in. It hurt to take it out. It hurt. It just caused a constant cramping the whole time I had it in. And I understand that many of these things were well-intentioned, and there is lots of articles on all of these different things and stuff, but I have literally worked through this type of pain since I was diagnosed at 13 with endometriosis. And there were things that were helpful and things that people told me that I kind of already knew and stuff. Eating an anti-inflammatory diet. That's at the end of the day, things that significantly, it can't heal it, it can't cure it, but it would significantly bring down kind of like the sharp shooting pains that came with it, that would breath away, inflammation pain, right? So things like that, it would definitely bring it down a notch, but it most certainly did not stop my uterus from
doing what the fuck it wanted.
Yeah, it did whatever the fuck it wanted. It had a message. It was sucking the blood from other places in my body and dumping it out at will. And so it was time to go. That was a really big decision. That was a really, really big decision.
And tell us, how long did it take you to make that decision?
10 years.
Yes.
I first suspected 10 years ago about adenomyosis, and thankfully I had a lovely, lovely physician in Dr. Shireen out of Ajax Pickering, who really listened when, she didn't fluff me off. And thankfully I also have a family doctor who doesn't allow things to get fluffed off. She's like, no, you need a referral for that. We're making sure that happens. And so I had a biopsy and ultrasounds and all of those fun things. And we kept kind of measuring where it was. And it was up until about 2-3 years ago, it was very stable. And then it started to grow again and the pain started to change again. And yeah, so it was just really, 2-3 years ago, I should have booked that fucking surgery. Or actually, I did book the surgery. I kept canceling the surgery.
Right. Comes out. Now the truth comes out. Tell the whole story.
So I had a C-section with Abigail, and the biggest part of this, and the recovery from the C-section was fucking horrible. And I didn't even have what they would call a complicated recovery, but I had what was absolutely a horrendous case of postpartum depression. I had a horrendous, like not being able to do the things that I need to do that bring me comfort, that allow me to just get shit done. I felt trapped. I felt trapped after I had Abby in that recovery. And I was so sick from the anesthesia too, but I felt trapped afterwards. So my big concern with this wasn't actually the uterus coming out, which was huge because I was still trying to convince Roger to have another kid right up until the end, literally the night before. He's like, you know what we're doing tomorrow, right? But
How old are you?
48. And but yeah, I should have done this 2-3 years ago. I could not get my head in a place where I was ready to deal with the recovery. But COVID helped with that. I have already slowed down so significantly that making the decision to do this now just made sense. And originally they booked me for much later, into October, but my pain had significantly increased recently. And when I spoke with the doctor's office, they called back and said September 11th. I'm like, fucking September 11th, really? That's what we're doing? But, and just impulsively, I said yes. And so here I am on the other side of that. And tomorrow will be 3 weeks.
Yep.
Tomorrow will be 3 weeks.
And how do you feel?
Tired. I'm very tired. I did have some of the anxiety afterwards about being stuck still and not able to, again, it's a control thing. It really is a control thing. When I'm in recovery, everything in my world feels like it's not in my control any longer. So I had to just let go and let other people do things.
That's the hard part.
You offered to make me soup, and I almost said no, just out of habit. It's like, no, we'll figure that out. And I'm like, why am I saying no? I fucking love chicken broth. I love bone broth. Why am I saying no? And she's offering to make it. I had lots of people. My sister cooked for me. My niece cooked for me. You cooked for me. Which I have to tell you, in any household, it's like postpartum. It makes all the difference if there's something hot you can make that is right there. It's a no-brainer. And we ordered the HelloFresh as well, and that made all the difference. I didn't have to make any decisions. There's literally a recipe there. The kids can go and make it, and it's just taken care of. It really helped with the letting go, without having to say, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, but you have to say yes first.
Yes, I had to say yes first. It was like saying yes to the surgery and then saying yes to the help.
Yeah. And then no everything else. No, I cannot drive you here and there. No, I cannot pick this and that up. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. So it's a lot saying yes and then no.
Mm-hmm. Watching, I'm malazing on recovering on the couch that first week, and I'm watching Roger get off one call, run downstairs, grab his keys, grab a kid, run out the door, take him to the barn, come back, or work from there for 4 hours while she's working. She's working at the barn, he's working at the barn, getting his work done, coming back, making dinner. Xander's off to college, Abby's off to the barn, Megan's off to ukulele, and he's I never saw him because he was just always either working or in motion with the kids. For that first week, it was like, holy fuck.
He was in single dad mode.
He was in total single dad mode because I was just embracing the whole recovery, like the whole laying down, moving every day, like they say, right?
What you
But
saw, that was you.
I know.
You saw him doing, that was you. So if it looked overwhelming and it looked exhausting, that's how you look to the rest of us.
Did I get told? I think I just got told.
I'm just
Suzanne,
saying you saw what we all see in you doing 800 billion fucking things for people.
Yeah.
I think
My
that is.
kids can't relate because I mean I drive them to work and that's pretty much the end of
I
it.
gotta go lie down after that.
I told them last night, I said, yeah, you know what? Yesterday was a bit much for me. So y'all are responsible for your own food. So good luck with that. I went
And
grocery
aren't I
shopping.
fun? I've said over and over, I can't do more than one big thing a day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And so, and by big thing, I mean like groceries is a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. So if I'm required to like leave my house and go somewhere, that's considered a big thing. And that can only happen one time. So yeah. That's why you like watching superhero movies, because notes.
If I could just have that superpower.
Yeah, you're taking notes as to how to apply that to your real life. And I'm just like, this is making me tired just watching it.
Yeah.
You know, I have built in, like I can feel overwhelm coming, and I can feel it coming, the radar. I can feel it coming, and then I immediately start looking for ways to avoid it. I almost, if I can avoid it, the last stressful time I remember having is, getting ready to go to the Philippines for my son's wedding. And that was unavoidable. I had to do all of those things. So I buckle up and I do it, but everything inside of me is rebelling. Everything inside of me, I don't just sink into it and get into like warrior mode. Nope. Everything inside of me is rebelling against all the tasks during a stressful time. And I hate it so much. And so I have built-in radar. I can feel it coming, which is why I do things like say, I can't teach anymore on the weekends. Can't do it because I know myself and I can't do it. So, and so I start looking around for ways to let it go. Yeah. I think that's an age thing. Maybe by the time you turn 50, you'll be doing that, Steph. But
I think well, you know what? It's been one of the blessings of COVID is it literally, physically, like not even my recovery, slowed me the hell down. I mean, the kids still had their shit once everything opened back up, but yeah, before the barn and everything opened back up, it just slowed me the hell down. I think that's why I was able to so quickly say to the surgery. So it's like, well, look, I'm practicing now.
yes, you're getting a little bit of practice. Yeah. So what was the pain and weird feelings like?
Before the surgery?
No, like after the surgery.
Well, there's 5 incisions plus one at the top of my. So when you have a hysterectomy this way, they take I had them take all of my uterus and my fallopian tubes, and leave my ovaries. So literally at the top of my vagina, they just quite simply sewed that sucker closed at the top. And so you can imagine that it can be very sensitive. And then there's 5 incisions on the outside that are healing. So it's that sharp, prickly stitches feeling, in 5 incisions across my abdomen. It's only 5. Usually it's 3, but it was because they ran into the problem with my uterus not being where they expected it to be. And then they have to excise everything, like break it away from all the organs around it. So it was for the first week, it was very deeply bruised. I did get an infection. I think I sat up on the couch literally while I was talking to you guys because I started having delirious ideas in my head. I was having these really psychedelic thoughts, and I thought, shit. And I started yelling at one of the kids, find me a thermometer. Because I couldn't figure out why I was having these really weird, wild thoughts. And I realized, yeah, I've got a fever. I was just thinking I had back. What's that?
Fever dreams.
Fever dreams, but I was awake and having outrageous back pain. And so in my head, I'm slowly putting this all together. I'm thinking of Kim's kidney stones. I'm trying to put this all together at one time. And I'm like, fuck me, get me a thermometer. And yeah, I had an infection. I had a UTI that had moved into my kidneys. And I had just assumed it was pain from surgery. It was leftover, like, recovery pain, but it wasn't. So that is now under control, thankfully. And now everything just feels like everything's just sore, generally sore from my rib cage down, because one of the incisions is up underneath one of my ribs. And it's just because they had to go above the uterus to get it to disconnect from some things. I think it's probably just sore. It is not unlike having a baby, like the kind of general soreness from your armpits down to your knees, where everything's kind of moving around and going back to where it was and kind of went through something that it hadn't gone through before. The hips are sore and the thighs are sore and stuff like that. I think it's probably just everything readjusting, finding a new spot, because my ginormous uterus is gone now.
Did you lose weight? How much did your uterus weigh? Did they tell you?
No, I should have asked. See, this is why I needed to keep my uterus. How cool would it have been to plant that sucker? I would have Instagrammed that shit.
Maybe it was too mangled after they got it out.
Oh, that is true. It's not like they pulled it all out in one piece, I don't think.
Yeah, because I remember when I was 20, I had my tonsils out, and even though I was 20, I had a pediatrician bill, and it was the pediatrician who did the surgery, and I was in pediatrics, so he says, I'm going to put your tonsils in a little thing for you. And I said, okay, that's cool. But after I came out of the surgery, he said to me, sorry, I couldn't save them. They were gross. Your tonsils were so disgusting. Which is why we had to take them out, because I was getting like 5 horrible infections a year. And he says, nah, we couldn't keep them. They were too horrible. So maybe your uterus was just, because they had to like cut it away from, like it was all adhered to all these other, so they had to probably really, those incisions are small. How are they going to get that big 5-month pregnant uterus out all nice and neat in one swoop? So I'm sure it wasn't, I'm sure it was mangled. So.
I wouldn't recognize it. I wouldn't recognize my own uterus.
You wouldn't have recognized it. You wouldn't have recognized it. Yeah.
But yeah, actually, it's funny you say that about your doctor. So she came in afterwards, and I was pretty stoned at the time, but I do remember her standing at the bottom of my bed and saying something and telling Roger, you need to get this because she's probably not going to remember. But I do remember her saying, yeah, well, that was a mess. I was like, and this is why I love her, because this is how she talks. Yeah, she like that was a bit of a mess. That was more than we were expecting. And I remember just a little bit, because we have this thing so often that happens with our physicians and stuff, where I find that they just don't quite believe you when you're describing things. You're describing pain or exhaustion. It's kind of like they put it off to a little bit of feminine hysteria and shit like that. And this is a woman, but it was the one thing I did take away from the moment where she was sharing that with me was a little bit of validation, because I don't, unless you've gone through it, and this goes for so many things, you can't quite grasp what someone else is living with. And so for her to kind of come in and say that was a mess, that was more than what we were expecting. I heard just that, or I picked up just that little hint of, she was being serious when she said that, there's a bowling ball in my pelvis, like everything is hurting from pulling on the sides, like the sharp shooting pains, all of those things. I think it kind of all made sense once she saw it. And that's a little bit of what I felt then I passed back out.
Yeah.
But that was the good drugs.
Yes, you got some good drugs to see you through. Yeah. Are you off now, or are you still taking pain meds?
I'm not taking the prescription pain meds anymore. They are very, very hard on the stomach. And so I was trying to balance out post-surgery pain with the gastric pain that they cause. Even when I'm taking them with food, it just was not going well. Pardon me. Yeah, so it's just down to like muscle relaxer and Tylenol, just over the counter stuff.
Got it.
But I'm on the other side, and I finished all of my broth and back to eating normally. I have, oh goodness, I did have a bit of a bender once I could eat solid food easily again. I went on a little bit of a bender with some potato chips, which was a really bad idea. So I've been trying to in no way diet, but I'm trying to focus on the things that are going into my body. Are they going to cause more inflammation? I just keep thinking, more inflammation? No, thank you. Because even though my uterus is out, I still have endometriosis. A hysterectomy is not the cure for that. So a lot of the tissue is gone. It can flare back up because it adheres itself to it. It burrows itself into other organs and stuff like that, and can grow because I still have hormones.
Oh,
yeah.
I never thought of that. I thought, oh, once your uterus is out, that's it. It's gone.
No, but thus far I haven't had anything that feels like that kind of pain. So, touch wood. Oh, sorry, dogs. It's not the dog. It's not the door.
Oh boy. Well, I for one am glad you finally made the leap and took care of yourself, because that's what that is. That is some radical self-care shit right there that you needed to do from a long time ago. So I'm glad that you finally gave yourself this opportunity to live pain-free.
Me too. And that's what I'm aiming for, right? And I really don't want to settle for anything less than pain-free. So I am sucking it up also and going to see Jill Mueller, who is a pelvic floor physiotherapist recommended by our Mommy Berries guest, Melissa.
Yes.
Somebody to me, and I have my appointment with Jill next week. So I want to take care of what is left and keep it where it's supposed to be, and find out what I need to be doing for myself moving forward.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for sharing. Kim's not going to share anything else, really. You're not? No help.
I don't really have anything to share.
No biting. Ow. Little bugger.
Your dog is biting you?
She bit really hard. You.
Food?
Say sorry. Now she's saying sorry.
Did you give her? Where's her food?
It's down there. She already ate it, so I got to get off soon to take her out to go poop. At 2 o'clock, she just finished. Look at her fat belly. Look at this fat belly. Fat belly.
Are you fat shaming your dog?
No. Who says that it's shameful? It's lovely. It's fat and it's wonderful. Right, Zig? She's actually really skinny. When I give her a bath, I'm horrified at how skinny she is. Yeah. This is just fluff. This is just fluff. Oh, boy.
Jack, I think we have a new mascot. It's not you.
Jackie, well, you haven't been clicking around in the podcast.
No, he's asleep.
We also have changed the time so that we're not podcasting at Jack's feeding time.
Yeah, that's true too. He gets fed beforehand.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah.
did I feed him?
So that's my HP corner.
All right, that's good. Anything else to share?
That's about a wrap.
Yeah, I haven't lost any weight. No, I gained some weight, and I think maybe I lost 5 of that extra weight, which means that I'm still a bit over my pre-COVID weight, but just a little. But I mean, I'm just living day by day. That's it. That's all I've got the wherewithal to do, day by day.
And that's what I'm doing with the whole anti-inflammatory eating. It's like, okay, or even not even day. It's like the meal at a time. I'm looking at food going, I just want to not hurt. What do I have that will taste good? Because I am not willing to skimp on taste. I like food that is flavorful, and I need food that I enjoy, and it has to be good, but I just don't want it to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Well,
All right.
so we are at an hour-ish.
Just over an hour.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So remember to, did we choose a book for the No Book Club? You should
Oh, I
probably.
did. And I forget what it
We had several ideas, and then we talked about it. Birth Yard? Did you guys say?
Are we doing the birth yard?
That's it, the birth yard.
All right.
I'll do it. It's not my first choice. It's actually my last choice, but whatever.
Okay, well, what do you want to read?
Democracy. What are we?
What do you want to read?
Well, I just feel like the Birth Yard is a knockoff of The Handmaid's Tale. So if we're gonna read a book like that, we should read the original quintessential book by the legendary Margaret Atwood. But that's just me being a literary snob.
But how do you know it's a knockoff? Have you read it already?
I read the inside cover at Chapters, and I'm like, oh my god, a knockoff. You know, like after Harry Potter came out, there was all these books about wizards everywhere. And when Twilight came out, there was a million books about teenage vampires.
It's
Now there's all these books about dystopian worlds where women are forced to be leaders and everything is controlled and all that. I mean, it's a good storyline, and I don't mind reading it. Wasn't my first choice, but that's okay. Like I said, I believe in democracy, and I was out for it, so fine.
Funny you say that, because it literally, when it says the about, a debut model for readers of The Handmaid's Tale. Birth Yard is a interesting story of a young woman's rebellion against the rules that control her body. That is what it's about. But I say let's read it. Let's look at, because there's no time where this shit is not happening in another way with another vision. So let's read this.
Let us do it. Let's do that. And I wanted to make a comment about The Pull of the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, that Emma Donahue was on White Coat Black Art, which is a podcast on CBC radio here, which is our public radio broadcasting company in Canada. And one thing that she did that we didn't touch on, and I'm like, oh, that was a good point. She said that she wanted, when she wrote the character of Julia in the story, she wanted us to slowly see Julia becoming politicized, more and more politicized as the novel wore on, to tie that into the politics affects our lives every day, whether we want to ignore it or not ignore it, that politics affects our lives every day. Is one of the things she wanted to have come across in the book, is that Julia slowly became more and more politicized, and that culminated in her taking that baby away to raise on her own, to try to make a difference in the world by not just allowing that baby to just be a victim of all of the stupid political decisions and ideas in her society at that time. So I thought that was a really good point. And I have more respect for Emma Donahue, and I might bump my score up to a 7, because I think I gave it a 6.5. And talking to the author and hearing their motivations and their reasons behind certain things always helps me anyways feel a little bit more sympathy for the book. So yeah, she sounded great. I liked everything she said. And so you can still listen to that interview, because that's a podcast. That radio show, White Coat Black Art, is a radio show, but it's also a podcast.
Definitely.
All radio shows are podcasts, so, and they're all good. CBC great radio programs. Because I'm a granny and I listen to CBC radio all the time.
Hey, I was on CBC radio, so
There you go.
not that bad.
That means we're
Not that
patriotic Canadians. Patriotic Canadians listen to. So it's like in the States they have what's it called? NPR? Yeah. And they also have PBS. They have TV, but we've got CBC does everything, radio and TV. Yeah, and it's great. It's also the broadcasting company that produced Schitt's Creek. Hello.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's on there, so you can look at this podcasts are all really good.
I'm still in season 3 of Schitt's Creek, and by the way, yeah, congratulations to Schitt's Creek for fucking nailing the award.
Weeping the Emmys.
Yeah, awards. I was so excited. I was so happy for them.
I love Catherine O'Hara. I love her so much. I remember her when I was a kid watching Second City. All of those people, John Candy, Eugene Levy, all of them seemed like our people. They seemed like I could imagine them just being downtown Toronto filming all the Second City stuff. And now they're so famous and everybody thinks they're great and they actually belong to us.
Yeah. And they all came together to film here in Canada, in Ontario, not too far from us. To film the show.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. I'm going to go walk this puppy before she poops in the lap.
All right. So remember to rate, review, and subscribe and tell a friend. And yeah, I guess we're reading The Birthyard. I don't know the date for that yet, but I'm sure we'll know it next week. And
Right?
what?
It'll be November, right?
Yep.
I can tell you that is. We will record it on the 12th, and so that will be the show. It will air on the 16th.
All right. So if you want to join us on November 12th.
November 12th, yes.
All right. Excellent.
Let us know. The Birthyard, what's the name of the author?
Mallory Tater. Mallory Tater, like potato tots.
Tater, like a tiny, tiny baby potato.
Taters.
Okay, everybody.
Have a great week.
Go rest your I was going to say go rest your uterus, but that doesn't make sense.
There.
Just doesn't make sense. Go rest your ass. Go rest your fat asses. PHAT, fat. That means good. We love fat asses, right, Zig? Okay. Okay. Take it easy, everybody.